Hello and good afternoon on this Friday afternoon. It's very, very sunny. I just got off work a little while ago. It's around 3 o'clock here in San Francisco. Definitely a beautiful day. Yeah, it's been a while since I uploaded any videos onto YouTube. I'm living here in a nice area right now. I don't know for how much longer though. And that's something I briefly wanted to touch upon, is the fact that sometimes people see something in us and they hold us responsible for something which is difficult for them to deal with, and so they're ultimately expecting, I don't know, are they expecting for us to change? It's interesting to find how others really focus on certain things or see certain things. I mean, of course, I'm using myself here as a prime example, because I have learned during my path in life how I come across to others. And sometimes I guess it is the German in me, and yes, there is some anger still, and some pain that requires a lot of healing. And so presently the situation I'm in, it is interesting. When I meet people, I put myself out there to the world, as you can see on YouTube with all these videos. I have quite the online presence, I put up ads, getting a lot of responses, not only in regards to housing, but lots of people in terms of doing workshops, teaching. And so I meet people quickly, and people respond to me, and I've had people give me trust easily, right away. When they meet me, they talk with me, and after a little while they say, okay, why don't you move in here? No deposit, no questions asked. But after a while I've noticed that, there is no really learning, there's no communication in terms of, tell me about who you are and how we can work this out, and how can we be together, share this space together. Especially I'm talking about when it comes to sharing an apartment with someone and having a roommate. It seems to me very, very interesting and very sad, actually, how I've seen this on my experience on Pal Talk, about how and that is, I think, something, especially in America, people go very much by their own impressions of others. We look at others and we compare them to who we are, and we see what we want to see, and we go by our impressions and by our intuition about others. But ultimately, and I always thought my whole life that this is a very superficial way of sizing others up, of really looking at others from other perspective. And if we see something in others we don't like, we basically just move back and I don't want to have anything to do with this person, instead of making the effort to communicate what it is we see, so we give the other person an opportunity to explain themselves and to talk about themselves without the need to criticize the other person for being who they are and saying that they should be different, but just accepting them. Acceptance is where it all begins. Acceptance of others, I've come to find. And I myself am very, very sensitive to that when I feel that other people don't accept me for who I am. And it is a challenge. It is a challenge. And I keep on looking within myself to find what that is difficult for people to deal with. But at the same time, and I definitely want to modify that in order to be able to allow people to be with me in an easier way, without having to argue or go back and forth about I should be this way, and then other people, I get the sense they're attacking me, and then I get defensive. But I'm trying to be more open, more taking responsibility for myself and seeing how I can work on myself, because ultimately everybody I meet along my path is a teacher, here to guide me in a better understanding of myself. Of course it is. But at the same time also I ask you that question, is it then a matter of, when other people have a difficult time with us for whatever reason, to change ourselves so we will be different for others? I mean, isn't the idea of change that, of course it is about changing ourselves, but it is not about changing others, especially not for our own sake. And I sometimes get the sense that, maybe it has to do with how we grew up, with our parents always telling us, be more like your brother, stop asking questions, be less this and more of that. And I think that later on we grow up in life basically dealing with people just like that. I mean, ultimately we all surround ourselves with people who just like the way we are, and we all look for somebody, be it in terms of an intimate relationship. We're looking for friends to be a certain way, just the way we want them to, and we are not really dealing with people who are different, who might be a little difficult to deal with, who we might be a little bit uncomfortable with. Yeah, of course, who wants to be uncomfortable? But see, also the question I raise, apologize, is when we are uncomfortable around somebody, not only is it the responsibility of the other person to change, and why is it that we're uncomfortable? Is it because of the other person, or is it because there's something within ourselves that the other person reminds us of, which is uncomfortable for us to deal with? Because ultimately the question is, what can we change? Of course, it's not about others, it's not about changing others, but it's about changing ourselves and learning to be more loving, kind, and understanding towards others. I apologize if I overwhelmed again a little bit, but it's good to talk again. Yeah, I'm right, that's actually where I'm living. At least right now, that's where I'm living. Don't know how much longer this will go on, but I'm just tired of having to explain myself to people, justify myself, and being misunderstood, which seems to be, a lifelong problem, a challenge I had. And now that I'm 40, I've reached the point where I'm like, yes, of course, I'm at the beginning of a journey. I mean, the things that I've learned, yes, I learned a few things, but ultimately I know nothing. I feel very much, that I'm here opening up a whole new chapter for myself. But it is very difficult for me when I get the sense that people focus on what they don't like in me, and then I bring something out bad, and then they are negative. There is negativity going on, and I kind of feel guilty. I feel responsible for that, and I don't want to be responsible for that. Because I am the way I am, and I've accepted myself for who I am, and I know the things that I need to learn. I definitely want to work with people, but I think we all need to make that effort to really deal with one another on the basis of who we are, based upon acceptance, active and unconditional acceptance, awareness of who the other person is, and appreciation. And then we can learn to see ourselves in others and can find that we are all teachers, and that there's no enemy, there's nobody responsible for our own problems, our own depression, our sadness, our anger. It is us. Ultimately, we are our own worst enemy. And so how to make friends is the purpose of the Conscious Revolution, the purpose of my work. And so every day I learn something new about that. Again, thanks for listening. I'll be happy to talk to you soon. Again, give me a call if you like. I would be happy to hear from you. Also, see, on Pal Talk I haven't been on much lately, due to the fact that I'm sharing this space, and the other Kelvin, my roommate, he's a lot on the internet, and I don't really quite, I have my private space, which I really need in order to be able to concentrate on my work. So maybe I'll be moving again very soon. I'll keep you posted, of course. And also I joined some interesting groups and some interesting internet communities. If you check out my website, it's a page where it says learning programs, and tools at the very bottom you find some of those communities. Among them MySpace, Stripe, amazing networking communities, and yeah, check that out. It will be great to talk to you soon. I hope you're well on this Friday, and for right now, say goodbye on Bush and Steiner. Pierce is over there, and Steiner is over there. So all the best to you. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.